Hi, Paul. Welcome back.
Hi, Gabs. Well, thank you for having me back. Life's changed just a little bit
Just a
since
little
I
bit.
was last on here. But I've got to say, I am enjoying every single moment of it, and it's just so nice to share it with all my loved ones as well, and they're really loving the process, and I feel like it's all given us a big lift up, and it's just brought everyone really close together as well.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, North of England show I mentioned to you earlier was back in March, and you had a lecture slot there, and that was pretty. I couldn't get through. I couldn't get through that section.
You know what? Just going off from that, really enjoyed the Northern England Dentist Show, and it was just so nice to be with the dental community and how much love they've showed me and how much they're backing me, which is really nice because you go on some of these things and you don't want to ever disrespect the dental profession. You always want to maintain its integrity. So for me, I think I try to find that right balance, and it's really nice that that's coming across. And again, as I always say, much love to the dental community. You've always supported me throughout my whole career, to all my mentors and everyone. So massive thank you from my end.
It was definitely evident on the day. There's a lot of people I spoke to who had a lot of good to say about you and what you're doing. So testament to your delivery and performance on The Apprentice and what you've achieved outside of that as well, I guess. I mean, obviously we've spoken about the North of England show, but how has it been generally since we last spoke in terms of the reception from the profession?
Yeah, I think it was nice at the Northern England Dentistry Show where people didn't realise what I've actually done in my career, rather than just The Apprentice. So when I got to do that lecture, it was nice because a lot of people were asking me about, my journey in terms of, buying a dental practice, getting the second one, and kind of the diplomas that I've done and the teaching that I've done. And it was nice to kind of show that professional side of me, that, I'm not just, someone that's just randomly gone on The Apprentice. I'm someone that's, really taken in stride everything that the dental community has to offer. And I always say that all I've ever wanted to be was be the best dentist I could possibly be. So I'm so glad that's kind of coming across.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is. And obviously there's been a lot of interesting tasks. It's funny actually looking at what you guys get tasked with now compared to what people were getting tasked with 10 years ago, because obviously the programs, it's long standing, it's got a bit of a legacy about it. And I know yeah, exactly. And it's funny how you kind of adapt. So I mean, the biggest news I think that's important to talk about is Final Five. Huge achievement. How does that feel?
You know what? When we were in the boardroom, and obviously the pressure was on mainly Phil, but Phil's my boy, and I just wanted to make sure that I do the best for him, because I really wanted him to make it through to the final five, as well as really close to Trey and Flo as well. So when we found out we won that task and we were automatically through, I could not stop smiling. I was smiling from ear to ear. Sometimes in life you have like a core memory that's built. I will never forget that moment when we found out we were through, and I just, words can't even describe the elation, because you're under so much pressure during the task. You're getting criticized for absolutely everything you're doing. Everything's under the spotlight. One mistake and you're gone. So the amount of pressure that you feel is just so nice for that all to alleviate momentarily, of course, because of the interviews are no joke either. But it was just nice to enjoy that moment.
Yeah, definitely. It's a huge achievement, and I can imagine the pressure builds as the weeks go on as well. So 100%. When you get closer to sort of tasting that final part of the program, I can imagine that you feel it a lot more when you're undergoing the tasks too. I know you had some great comments actually from Lord Sugar and
on
Karen.
TV selling cats.
I saw those. Was that to do with the TV selling episode, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I think a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to actually present on TV selling. We thought it'd be easy, and what you've got is you've got an earpiece in your ear. You've got Flo and Phil just like screaming down your ear, going, "Price up, do this, do that," and you're trying to say something else. So you almost like got two completely different senses going on. But I think for me, I tried to link my product to dentistry as well. What they didn't show was halfway through me selling, because it was 15 minutes of selling it, but you only see like 1 or 2 minutes. I said, so you're literally just talking 15 minutes at a camera with no reactions. And I remember saying, guys, we just got to stop for a second. I've got a surprise to tell you. I'm a dentist. And then the sales just skyrocketed up.
Nice.
So,
that's
you
really good. I like
all in your toolbox, I guess. So
yeah, absolutely. No, so I mean, how did that? So you were just looking at a camera. There was nobody there that you were.
So you're literally just looking at yourself in a camera, and you're trying to. You can't gauge anything, so you're just trying to go. I hope this is going well. I hope this is going all right. And I was first on, so we didn't know how much you sell, like what quantity is a good quantity to sell.
I see. Yeah, of course.
So we weren't like celebrating or anything. I just thought, it was a big amount, but I don't know relatively whether it is or not.
Well, I mean, you found out in the boardroom that it was a success. So yeah, nice one on that.
The biggest surprise of that was Baroness Brady giving me a compliment. Actually, that was nice. That was like a nice little staple moment. So.
I mean, I think that would be a core memory for me, to be fair. If that was
finally a compliment. It's been 9 weeks.
Yeah, that's it. She's not the easiest to please.
She isn't, but do you know what? She's very righteous and fair. So if you do something good, she will say nice things about you. But at the end of the day, she's there as Lord Sugar's Aid, and they want to pick the best business partner that they can pick. So she's got a job to do. So I understand that. But when I went back to the house on my own, that was hilarious, because obviously my team were in the boardroom and the other team were on treat. So I was just in the Apprentice house on my ones, and it was just so nice to get some peace and quiet.
I can imagine.
Just so nice, just literally no one talking. Just because usually what we have to do is lock ourselves in the bathroom for some peace and quiet.
I can see that would be the only time that you would have that.
That is the only time you get it. So it was just nice.
Yeah, I can imagine. When you're sleeping there, have you got like the whole earplugs, eye mask on situation?
No. So Phil will never let me sleep. He would always want to be talking. So we'd be chatting to like 3-4 a.m. in the morning. We're like, we got to wake up early in the morning. But it was nice because, because we didn't have any phones, no internet, nothing like that. So it was amazing because we got to know each other, all of us candidates, on such a deep level. And I can safely say I've made some friends for life.
That's such a rare thing to be able to have in this day and age. I think that sort of forced peace and communication face to face with people. So I'm glad you've come away from the experience not only feeling enriched as an individual, but also in your personal life as well with some friendships.
Yeah, and you know what? If I can give any advice to anyone, dentist or non-dentist, just have like an hour's worth of screen time in the evening, just a lot of time, and then just really put your phone down, put it away, and just spend quality time with the ones that you're around. Because we don't realize how caught up we get on just scrolling and things like that. And it's really changed my life for the better. And you just really get to know people on such a better level.
Yeah, I can imagine. We can all take a bit of advice from that. I think it's putting the other room out of mind, I think always works. If you don't actually see it or hear it, a lot of the time you just kind of forget about the fact that you have a phone.
You get this kind of low level anxiety where it's like, oh my god, what about if something's happened, or like what if there's an emergency? But it can wait. Yeah, it can. I mean, people got by, basically the majority of existence people have got by without instant communication, so it's doable. No, exactly. So that's definitely one advice I'd give to everyone if they can do that.
I actually have a question. So are there any parts in this process when you're watching the episodes where you think, oh god, I really wish they hadn't included that part about me?
Well, obviously you never really get used to seeing yourself on the big screen, but there was one moment, Task 6 Serial, and I was chatting to Iceland, and I tried everything. I threw the kitchen sink at it. I tried to turn on the charm at like 110%, if that's even possible. But just nothing was working. And she said, you know what, Paul, you've said so many positive things about this product. from the consumer research, what was one of the negative things that was said? And she was telling me that, you know, it tastes a bit sugary, right? So I said, well, yeah, actually, interestingly enough, you said that it tasted quite sugary for your palate. But the consumer researchers who were aiming at kids said it was almost on the little bit of the bland side. However, that got chopped and edited to make it look like I just said, oh yeah, the product's bland. And then Sam's like, oh, Paul's not backing the product and all this. And I was watching it like, no, that's not what happened. It is what it is. It is what it is.
That's so funny. I can imagine that. I think that's part of the fun, though. No, when you're sitting down surrounded by your family and friends, and then they must just rip you apart at times.
Honestly, I got so many like memes sent of that, and it was funny because I did it in a really weird tone of voice as well. I think so the consumer research said actually it was a little bit bland. So but that was probably the moment where I was like, great, fine, is what it is.
That's fine. That's really funny. Oh, I'm glad it's been an enjoyable experience for you.
Best experience I've ever had. You know, to any dental care professional watching this, if you've ever thought about doing anything like this, put yourself out there and go for it, because the worst thing that'll happen is you'll just create new memories.
Nice. And I mean, what would your advice be, sort of business-wise or in dentistry? So far, obviously, this is task 10 has been and gone. You've got the big interview coming up now. What have you learned in the process? What advice can you offer up to those who might be watching or listening?
You know what? Always make sure you're pushing yourself outside of your boundaries that you feel comfortable in. You never want to plateau in life. Life is meant for new experiences, to be able to grow. So just keep pushing yourself. If you know, they say that the biggest fear is the moment you're just about to jump, take the leap of faith. And one advice I'll give is, whenever I'm making a decision in life, for example, when going on The Apprentice, I always ask myself, is the best outcome more desirable or worth it in comparison to the worst outcome? So, you know, you could say like best outcome is winning the show, worst outcome could be, you know, going out first. Is it worth that risk? And let's say you say no, then I always ask myself, well, how would I feel in 10 years time if I didn't take that opportunity up? And if the answer is with regret, then, you know, I'll still do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done. You've done incredibly, and I look forward to seeing the next part of this process. You should be really proud of yourself.
No, I appreciate that, and you know, I really appreciate support from all of FMC as well. You've all been very kind, and you know, just to be able to do this and talk to the dental community is a real pleasure.
Thank you. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you.